in terms of what he's doing here on campus, and especially with the Gates Foundation. So this is all tied in. So really, I just have a couple quick questions about why you're here and what you hope to learn about, and what you need to take home to South Africa, right? You're from South Africa? Ghana, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, are you
Yep.
are you started? Okay. So can you start with your name and spell it as well, please?
Okay, my name is Kwame Asamoah Okyere. KWAMEASAMOAH
Okay.
dash OKYERE.
Okay. And what organization are you with?
I work with the Food and Drugs Authority in Ghana.
Okay. And what is your title?
I'm a Principal Regulatory Officer.
Okay. And so, what is your purpose in being here at MSU? I'm assuming, were you here last week as well, or just?
Yes, I was here last week.
Okay, so this is your second week.
Yeah, this is my second week.
Okay. So can you give me an idea of what you hope to, or what you've learned, and what you hope to be able to take home to Ghana?
Well, back home I work with the Food and Drugs Authority, and my institution is the apex body for food safety in Ghana. So we assure the safety of food that is imported, exported, distributed, and sold on the market, and to protect public health and safety.
Okay.
So last week was an international food safety course, and it gave a perspective of what the U.S. food safety situation is like, particularly with the advent of the FSMA, what the FSMA is bringing on board. So it's the modernization of food safety.
Sure.
And it has interesting perspectives for us back home in Ghana. So we talk of issues of traceability, being able to trace from farm to fork, which is very vital in food safety, in terms of food safety incidents, to be able to trace back to where the problems are coming from.
Sure.
There were several case studies highlighting, the frequency of visits of the regulator to the factory. There was one of the peanut company that had not been visited for like 2 years or so, and was part of the reason why, they had the problem that they had. And it has some useful lessons for us as to how we manage very large industries. Though we have confidence in those industries, we need to put mechanisms in place to make sure that, they're always on their toes and doing what is right. We had a case study on apple cider, which was very interesting, on how the different stakeholders come together to work to ensure food safety.
Right.
So the participation of academia, participation of the regulators, and the companies themselves coming together to solve a problem. And I found that very, very interesting, and something that we could use back home to try and engage much more with academia in that respect, to help the local industry to grow and ensure, safe food on the local market. One of the presentations we had that was on food packaging, and it was enlightening to the point of, we've had some discussions back home about how how foods that are vended on the street are packaged, So you go and you buy it, and it's put in a plastic bag for you, for instance. They talk about the fact that, polystyrene has been used in lots of food packaging materials, and now in California it's banned because it's been said to be carcinogenic. So it has, some implications for us back home, considering some of the discussions that we had about having residual levels of the plasticizers that are used, the other additives used in making plastic, and the transfer rates and how it's affected by increased temperature and surface area and all of that, considering how plastic bags, that were intended to be used to be packed for packing dry foods are now used to pack hot food, and to some extent even cook food in it, So it has some perspectives for us going back home. So on the general food safety front, to say, I now have a better understanding of the U.S. food safety system, and there are lessons that we can draw back home in Ghana to see what we can do. For this second week, my role, I'm in the biosafety unit. I'm the head of unit for that unit, and what we do is, you can call us the food safety experts when it comes to foods derived from genetically modified foods in Ghana. And as part of the biosafety framework that we have in Ghana, the FDA plays a key role in that. On two levels, we have representation and a technical advisory committee that evaluates, applications that applicants submit. Sure. And then we have representation on the governing board as well that takes a final decision on whether an application is approved, having considered information from the technical advisory committee, from the public, socioeconomics, all the other bits and pieces of information to take the final decision. So being here the second week, what is key for us is having hands-on experience in evaluating dossiers. Up till now, we've had some confined field trials. So we have evaluated some applications for confined field trials. And as some of these trials come to an end, the hope is that we should be getting applications for environmental release and for food and feed. Right. So having some hands-on experience is very valuable to that process and would boost the confidence of any regulator to say, well, I've been there before and I know exactly how to handle this. And that's what this week is about. And I'd say it's going on well. It's going on well, yeah.
Tell me about the GM. So the GM foods in Ghana are in confined field trials right now?
Yes, for now, confined field trials. We have Maruca-resistant cowpea. We have what they call the newest rice. That's a nitrogen-efficient, water-efficient, and salt-tolerant rice. Okay. And then we have the BT cotton, where we did some multi-locational trials as well. We had the nutritionally enhanced sweet potato, but that project never took off. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that's what we have till date. Yeah.
So you have the three then?
Yes, we have the three. BT cotton, we did the confined trials, and then we did the multi-locational as well. Yeah.
And are they disease, insect resistance, drought tolerance? What?
The Maruca resistant is insect. Yeah. Yes, that's insect. And then when it comes to the newest rice, it's nitrogen efficient, it's water efficient, and it's salt tolerant. Okay. So that it's supposed to be able to grow in low nitrogen soils, make the best of the nitrogen. Where you have drought situations, it's supposed to be able to grow in upland. Typical rice, we've known rice to be planted in, waterlogged areas, but a water efficient rice is going to enable us to be able to plant this in upland areas where you don't have lots of water. And the salt tolerance will allow the same crop to be planted in an area where you have high soil salinity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the sweet potato was for nutritional enhancement. Yeah. And BT cotton, insect resistance. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And are you expecting, do you have any timeline in terms of when these may be coming for approval, or?
It depends on the applicant. An applicant needs to decide that I want to bring in an application. Yeah. So regulators don't go chasing applicants to send.
Right.
So what we are doing is we are ready.
Yes.
So when they submit an application, we are ready to evaluate the application. Right. Yes, and to arrive at a decision.
Right. And so coming here, you're just you're getting a little bit more hands-on experience in preparation for these.
In preparation for, yes, for environmental release and for food and feed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So food safety is top of mind for a lot of consumers, and when it comes to GMOs, it's obviously a really hot button issue. Our director, my boss, is really of the mindset that we need to be doing more as a university to educate people about GMOs. Is there anything you would? I'm sure you, in your line of work, you get questioned about this quite a bit. Is there any response that you have to the public concerns and a lot of misperceptions about GMOs? If you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we actually did a nationwide survey end of last year towards early this year to try and find out, what kind of perception in terms of hazards or harms that people associate with foods that are derived from GM foods. And it was interesting to note that most people do not really understand. They have an opinion, but they have no understanding of the issue for which they have an opinion. Okay, and as part of that, we decided we would, for this year, to step up in terms of public education. So we drafted some synopsis for radio, for TV, and I think in the second quarter, we scheduled to be out at least once a week, either on radio or to be on TV. We've been able to do about 7 or 8 for the last quarter. And the response was quite good. I remember after one TV show, the hostess was like, wow, you need to come back. You need to come back. We've learned so much. We've heard so much about this, but we've never heard it from this perspective before. I get to the office the next day and I meet a client, walk into the office. I saw you on TV. That was great. I learned so much. So you can't belabor the point that education is important. There are lots of people out there, they have concerns, but they are not able to take the right decisions because they do not have the right information. So we are hoping to equip them so that they will be able to take the right decisions. For now, they're taking decisions. They have no idea why they've taken that decision they have taken. So just flame blindly, probably passionately, somebody's been able to drive their passion in a certain direction.
Is there any sources that you refer people to learn more about GMOs?
GMOs? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Because we've stepped up public education, what we actually did is, it's still in the pipeline. What we're doing is we're creating a web page on our website, to give information about biosafety, where we'll be pointing people to other credible websites for information that they can rely on. We are trying to use social media to see if we can get people to follow us around. So hopefully we'll be doing Facebook, we'll be doing WhatsApp, we'll be doing Twitter, we'll be doing Instagram to see if we can get the guys to follow us as we go on TV and radio and listen to us.
I'd love to hear how it goes, like maybe 6 months down the line.
Yeah. It's really priority for my boss, and this year he kicked me out there and says, you go talk.
Well, that's great that you're able to, go on and have people respond, and and that's a great ability to be able to, educate folks on that, and great platform. Is there anything else about either what's happening at home or what you're learning this week that you think would be important to mention that you haven't already?
Well, we've talked about what's happening at home so far as the workplace is concerned, in terms of, the drive to increase public education. We are actually preparing some leaflets.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a newsletter in the office, and we've decided that for it comes out every quarter. So every quarter we're going to put up some issue that is topical. Okay. I think we're finished up on a newspaper public article that we're doing. you know, because we had this whole discussion about ban of GMOs. You know, the anti-GMO, China's banned GMOs. GMOs are banned here, they are banned there. So we decided to do an article on a global view of bans.
Wow.
You know, and taking the notable ones. Of course, we can't carry everybody along.
Yeah, right.
And taking the notable ones, and those countries they have said it's banned, where it's not banned. You know, just opening up the facts for people to be able to make a decision.
Right.
You know,
Good.
as to the way forward. So those are some of the things that are happening at home.
Yeah.
You know, and for the training, we're here to see hands-on.
Oh, great. And have you worked with Dr. Meridia long? Do you know him, or have you?
I think I've encountered him on probably 2 or 3 occasions in Ghana on some workshops that they've done together with Abney back in Ghana.
Just because I'm working on some written pieces as well, and I don't know if you've worked with him enough to feel comfortable talking about that experience and what it. I know he's known around our office as someone who's just instrumental in building really, really valuable partnerships throughout the world. And being from Africa, I know that's one of the countries where continents where he's been very heavily involved. So I didn't.
Well, what I'll say is I've been touched from a distance by his work, right? So that's how I'll talk about it. So he's done some workshops that I've been a part of. Last year we were here to discuss about creating a network of African experts, and in fact that's what's giving birth to this week-long program.
Right.
So I'll say my interaction with him is as a result of the output of his hard work.
Okay.
But not having that close,
Sure.
yes, relationship
Okay.
with him, but from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.